Hi guys, welcome back to Mysteries with Pippa. I cannot tell you how many times I've recorded this video. The first time I recorded it, I got a little bit upset because the case is just so tragic. The second time, I could not get my words out. Third time's a charm. A couple of people have been asking me where I get my jewellery from. That is a Michael Kors watch my beautiful boyfriend bought me. You'll see a running theme here. Then I have the Pandora bow ring that my boyfriend got me, and I have the princess ring that my boyfriend got me. So yes. Anyway, let's get down with today's case. So today's case is on the tragic death of Elisa Lam. Elisa Lam, also known by her Cantonese name Lam Ho Yi, was born on the 30th of April 1991. She was a Canadian citizen and she studied at the University of British Columbia. Elisa Lam was travelling, and on the 26th of January 2014, she checked into the Cecile Hotel. Cecile, sorry. She checked into this She checked into the Cecile Hotel, and this was located in downtown LA. So it was quite a sketchy place to begin with, but I'm assuming because she was travelling, she probably wanted to save some money, so she checked into a cheap hotel. Then on the 19th of February, hotel guests were complaining about a funny smelling and funny tasting water that sometimes came out black before running clear, and they also complained that the water pressure was really low. And this was described from quite a few hotel guests. So the hotel staff proceeded to go into the roof of the Cecile Hotel and check the cylinder water tanks that were on there. When they checked the water tank and opened the lid, they discovered Elisa Lam's naked body in the water tank. Elisa was a very funny and clever individual, and she'd contact her parents every day to let them know where she was and how her travels were going. It's important to note that when she first checked into the hotel, she was staying in like in a shared hostel room with quite a few other people to save some money, but then she was later transferred to her own room as there were some complaints by other members or other roommates saying that she was odd and she was going through odd behaviours. Now, I did try to find out what they meant by this, but I couldn't. So if you guys do know or find any evidence of what kind of odd behaviour she was getting up to, please do let me know. But nevertheless, she was transferred to her own room. She was causing some issues with other roommates. Just so you're also aware about the background of Elisa Lam, she had been diagnosed with bipolar and depression, but she kept it well managed. She was very open about it on her Tumblr and also on her blog, but she kept it very secret in her life. She also had a quote on her Tumblr and blog page which said, "You're always haunted by the idea that you're wasting your life." So even though she did have some demons to kind of combat, she had a very supportive family, and they were always adamant that she never once tried to commit suicide, and that she expressed her negative thoughts and her situation that she was going through on her Tumblr and on her blog under an alias name, and that is how she coped with it. On January the 31st, she was due to check out and go travelling to, I think they call it Santa Cruz. I've probably pronounced that wrong. But anyway, she was due to travel down there, and her parents never got a call from her that day to say she'd checked out, that she was travelling, and this was really unusual. Like I said, she would call her parents every single day. So they called the LA police, and they also travelled down to LA to try and look for her. She was last seen on the same day that she was due to check out, and she was last seen by a book owner who owned a store nearby the Cecile Hotel. The book owner recalled seeing her, and that she was very funny, very in high spirits, and that Elisa had joked that she wouldn't be able to carry the books home because they were so heavy, and these were gifts for her family. A week after she was reported missing, there was still no sign of her, so LAPD checked the surveillance footage of the Cecile Hotel, and they discovered something horrific. They found surveillance footage of her acting completely out of character, completely odd. She is seen getting in the elevator, then out the elevator, then in again. She hides in the corner of an elevator. She presses loads of buttons and nothing happens to the elevator. It doesn't go down or anything. She then jumps out the elevator, looks around, jumps back in again. She's the worst part, I think, of the surveillance footage is when she makes really weird movements with her hand. So she does this kind of movement with it. It's very odd. She's also seen talking to someone, but we can't see anyone in the CCTV, so we don't know if it is someone or if it's just her imagination. But there is something weird about the CCTV that was released that I just want to mention. So when you witness the CCTV, quite a lot of people notice there's a chunk of surveillance footage that is missing. It's a whole minute that just is cut out, which I think is very, very odd. And many also believe that it has been tampered with. They see the CCTV slow down and speed up. The timestamp also changes or isn't accurate on the video, and at times it does show her mouth pixelated as if someone doesn't want anyone to know what she's saying. Another thing which is really odd is where she was found, in a water tank on the roof of a hotel. You need to kind of picture this. She was found, well, not picture it, but let's set the scene. She was found naked in a 4-foot by 8-foot water cylinder tank that requires step ladders to get up into. Another thing which is weird is that the lid also weighed approximately 20 pounds, and Elisa Lam didn't seem like a strong individual. If she did this herself, she would have had to have made her way up to the roof, get a stepladder, step onto it, push the lid open. She would have had to have got in, but then in the water, pushed the lid back over her. It seems very odd. To even make matters even odder, to get to the roof is very difficult. So there are stairs and doors which are locked or secured by alarm systems that would have gone off if she had gone through the entrance, and only staff would have had entrance to those parts to get up to the roof. But, I'm saying but, there is a way that she could have gotten up there, and that is through the fire exit. But to do so, you would have had to have gotten out of a window and up the stairs that way, which does seem a bit odd, but it is possible. So now I'm going to go into the theories of what people think happened to Elisa Lam and how she ended up in Cecile's hotel's water tank. The first theory is that she tried to commit suicide, and I don't believe this for a lot of reasons, but I can see why people would. She did have bipolar, she was depressed. This could have been a spur of the moment thing where she just thought, I can't live, but there are many signs to say that this isn't suicide. The first reason why I don't believe it is suicide is because she was travelling, she had places to go, she had planned a future, even if it was a small one, because she was travelling to a next destination. On the day she was seen by the book owner, very high spirit, she'd bought gifts and presents for her family. She was intending to see them. There was no suicide note. She didn't leave anything on her blogs to say that she was going to commit suicide. There had been no evidence that she ever had committed suicide, so this doesn't seem plausible. The next theory is that she had accidentally drowned, and this is actually what is on her autopsy report. I do have some issues with this. I know it sounds really dumb to argue against the science, but I think it's just circumstantial evidence which makes me doubt if she accidentally drowned. On the 15th of June, on the autopsy report, it was stated that they did believe it was an accidental drowning. Yet 3 days later, on the 18th of June, wait, hang on, 15th, 16th. Yeah, 3 days later, on the 18th of June, it was then put that it was undetermined, her death. And then a couple of days after that, it was re-put back to accidental drowning due to an error. Like, what reason would someone have to accidentally drown by going up to the roof of a hotel and going in a water tank cylinder? It makes no sense. There was also a record of a substantial amount of blood found in her anal area, but a pathologist just dismissed it as being due to bloating because she'd been in the water for so long, but yet didn't take the time to consider that she had a prolapsed rectum, and there was a rape kit that was taken, but it was never processed, so we're unsure if any kind of unconsensual sexual activity happened to Elisa Lam's body. The next theory, and the one kind of I'm most leaning to, is that she was being pursued by someone and that she had been murdered by someone. The first reason I believe this is that her phone was never found, which is really odd because she phoned her family every day, so she would have always had it on her. And another reason is because when she was found dead in the water tank, she was found with her watch and her hotel key, just not her phone. The police speculated that her phone must have been stolen by someone, but that the phone being stolen was not related in any way to the incident of her dying. But how? Like, where did you get this? Like, it seems really odd that her phone would just go missing and never be found, and that's not suspicious. Another reason is that she was found naked. So why would she strip off? A lot of people said that she'd gotten into the tank and that she was beginning to drown, and that the clothes were dragging her down, and that's why she took her clothes off. But why would you get in the first place? And how would you close the lid back on top of you? Another theory is that she was on drugs, or that her bipolar medication triggered it, or her bipolar medication wasn't working, or she wasn't taking it, but just some activity with drugs. I also do believe this could be a plausible theory. A lot of people do believe bipolar doesn't cause hallucinations or paranoia. It does cause that. Some people have a type of bipolar that when they go into a manic state, it can cause hallucinations and can be very, very scary. I do just want to go into a final theory. It's something I really don't believe, and it's not that I don't believe in ghosts, it's nothing to do with anything like that. It just doesn't, I feel like there's more to it. and I feel like she deserves more than just a ghost did it. But a lot of people believe that she was being haunted by a ghost in the hotel, as the hotel was home to many tragic events such as suicide, so people jumping off the roof, people also jumping out of windows. It was also the home to a couple of serial killers such as the Swedish killer Jack Underweger. I probably pronounced that wrong. And they do believe that the Black Dahlia also spent her last days there. The family did file a wrongful lawsuit against the hotel, but this was dismissed. And that is the end of the case. It's so bizarre. How can someone just end up in a water tank? Ugh. I've been really upset with this case all day, and I feel like it's just affected me more than usual, which is very odd because I'm very not that I'm not affected by the cases, but I'm usually just okay with recording them, but this one has been extremely unsettling. And I think just the fact that there's nothing to go off, we have nothing yet again. In my cases, we have nothing. So hope you guys really enjoyed today's case. I hope you have a lovely weekend, and don't forget, if you like it, thumbs up. If you love it, subscribe. And with that, I shall see you guys next week.